Let me ask you this question, Sam.
Oh, please.
When you came back to the I'm coming back to the statement that you stated that a woman has to look fine and she has to have this bodacious body and along with being submissive and all that of your requirements and your criteria, your expectations of a female. But what happens when you walk past a woman that may not look fine? So on the outside, she doesn't look that way, but she could still have all those traits and those characteristics. And you may be walking by your queen. You may be walking by your submissive wife, or your submissive woman, whatever you want her to be in your relationship.
Well, why would she be anything less, considering she doesn't look a certain way?
See, it's not always about the looks. It really is not always about the looks. Because it's the beauty is the eye of the beholder.
This is absolutely
so
true.
The fact that you just made that statement about someone who doesn't look a certain way on the outside, they should be XYZ because they don't look a certain way.
Yes.
Why would you have the expectation that someone who looks like this would be all those things as well? Why is that a given, if it's a given that someone who doesn't look like that way should be all those things?
It's not a given. We have to find
Well, then why is it?
out.
So why do you think that that's something that shouldn't be one of those things that, this may be something that I have to look at a little bit differently?
I would give that opportunity, but she should already be the rest of these things.
Wait. You give the opportunity for what? You give the opportunity for what? Please break that down a little bit for me. You give the opportunity for what to happen if she were all of these other things?
Oh, to improve her physical appearance.
Oh, Lord, okay.
So I'm tag teaming on this one. So what happens if you walk into the room and you lock eyes on that bomb chick? That one you like, yeah, that's my girl right there.
Right,
this is her.
Right.
And she walks up to you and she said, well, you don't look the way I want you to look.
Then you're not the one. Please, carry on.
See, the issue, I think the issue of this is like...
So you've arrived still? You have no growing to do?
Of course.
Of course you have arrived? Is that what you're saying?
Both.
Oh, Lord.
No, you have a lot.
Wow.
Morgan, it's like... See, the issue that we're talking is the types.
Yes.
The type.
And he has types.
And it's subjective, right? Now, what I've noticed is that sometimes types have not changed over time. Like, I established the type in my teens, in my 20s and 30s. And that's still my type in my 40s, 50s, and 60s, right? But I don't look the same.
No.
I'm not carrying myself the same. So I'm trying to catch new fish with old bait. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you need a whole new fishing rod.
Yeah,
How about
we
that?
do, but the whole
Not if it's been well maintained.
You might need a fish in a manufactured
But the whole thing is if we concentrate on who likes us, that's probably where our happiness lies. Okay, but that's not what happens. It's like, I want this is my type, this what I consider is coming after me, but even though this person is a great person, will be a great catch, that's the type of person that you actually try to introduce to family members and co-workers, because this is a great person, but you don't want them?
Yeah.
It's like, that's a type issue.
Yeah.
That's a type issue.
I don't think you have to concentrate just on those people. Obviously, I think the important thing is not eliminating them out of the realm of possibility. But I think you can still aim for this, but don't X out this because they don't meet all the things that you're wanting over here.
Well,
No
Marcus,
one's talked about Xing them out. We decided we would give them a chance.
I don't think that's a real chance. I don't think you're talking about a real chance.
I am, but their performance must be high. I must see quick results and maintain for a very long period of time.
Okay. Wow. Since we're talking about attractiveness, Marcus, could you be with a physically unattractive woman if she had the characteristics and traits that you like?
I have.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I have. I've been with, I hate to say it, but I've been with females that wasn't all the way to the T. You know what I mean? Like my brother Zim said, but I mean, that just was at a time when my mind, I'm my mind, what I think about when I'm in a relationship. When you get married at 16, I was 16, 17, so I was coming out of high school. So for me, I grew up fast, and I got to see a lot of different attitudes with different females at that time. And the attitude made all the looks make me say, I don't care for that. You know what I mean? Being young, you know, it makes you just be. I had females when I was 13, 14. I was able to do them things when I was younger. In my household, you know, my father and my mother, they let me do whatever. So I was having sex 13, 14. So by the time I got to 16, I was getting married. They got married at 15, 16. So nobody really taught them how to, you know, go through the process of being married and what you're supposed to do as a male and a female. And for me doing that fast at the age I was, it kind of messed me up because it made me not look at that no more. You know what I mean? Because I had everything when I was younger. Okay. I mean, I don't know if that's the best way of answering that. That was a good question, but
I want to piggyback on what he said.
All right.
So I was the same way too. I had my I had sex at 13 years old, and that was because of my situation, circumstance. I actually had my first child at 14, so I was being an adult before I was supposed to be an adult, and that pushed me to grow faster, probably than I should have. So when I'm meeting men like this guy, because back then, I remember when I got pregnant, the second time I got pregnant at 16, and I got teased and bullied a lot in school, and the girls was like, "Who messed with you? You know, you don't look like that. You know, you don't like you." That's a girlfriend. The same dude messed with you, messed with me too. Right. And I remember growing up, those guys were the guys they was attracted to me, and I was like, "Dang, I guess they have the bomb. You know, I'm bad." But then I started getting away from that, but everybody else was going into that. Again, why do you look like that? And you're attracting these kind of guys. Like, what's so special about you? And I said, obviously, I'm doing something right, because that's why I was able to gravitate. So I was like he was, not knowing that wasn't the right thing. But it's always, for me, it's always been the heart. Like, you can look like the best thing since sliced bread, but if I look at your heart, and your heart ain't right, and you look cray-cray, and your mind you ain't that intelligent, then we're only gonna be good just for one thing, and that's in the bedroom. And I had the independent mindset, because I was on my own since I was 16. So I'm like, in my house, in my life, you come to my house. I'm never going to your house. It's my rules, my way, no other way. And it was the way I wanted things to be done. I'm just now learning, almost about to be 50 now, that that's not really how you're supposed to be when you're in a relationship. Because if a man gets ran away, he's like, well, what you need me for? Okay. You know. So having said that it was good that you explained that on the male perspective. Because most men don't outwardly say, yeah, I had that sex and I was doing this, but I just did not know better. Some men use that and they continue their life until their 50s, their 60s, and their 70s, still doing that way, thinking it's the right way.
Yeah. Well, no, I was just gonna say, I think the issue with that is because me having sex with different partners. You know what I mean? I had, you know, white, black, Asian. So for me, you know, where Simmons at, it's just like I was there a long time ago. And I'm not saying I'm not trying to say I'm more mature or anything. It's just the years of me doing that. I'm like, I don't care for that no more. You know, it's like I need this up here because when I sleep at night, I gotta be like, I got somebody next to me that has this. And all the rest of that don't matter because once you have it so many times, you're like, no matter who you with, it's still after, without telling you before, after 3 months, everything is the same. Right. I don't care what female, how they built, it's still gonna be the same after 3 months. That's right.
I agree with that. Absolutely. Yes. Right. And I'm not saying that I would accept one over the other. So let's make that clear.
Oh, no.
The package must be complete, and we're gonna put some stamps on it.
He's still at that grocery store. Right. Let's not shop at his grocery store. Okay.
So actually, this is my travels, not the grocery store. I said stamps to the right, passport stamps from going to different countries.
So we're talking about foundations of forever, building relationships that last. And we started out, I asked the ladies, gender-specific roles in the 21st century. You have old school expectations, and then you have now, right? And it's like, okay, like I said before, the Model T Ford is still a great automobile, but it's good for riding around on the weekends and for car shows. You don't want to put a Model T Ford on the highway these days. It's not built for that, right? So I think that the reason that we're not staying together, like I said earlier, is we're too emotionally driven. Staying together is a decision. It's like, okay, if you date a specific way and you arrive at this partner that you're compatible, you're attracted to them mutually, you're like, this is where I'm going to be. Sometimes you just have to stay with that decision, right? But if you are emotionally driven, like a lot of people are these days, I'm with you as long as I'm happy. When I'm not happy with you anymore, I'm gonna swipe right onto somebody else. And that's where we are. We're in this swipe right culture where a lot of us think that we have many more options available to us than we really do. Mm-hmm. You can't find anybody in your city. Everybody you match with is in another state, in another country. And you really think you're gonna uproot your life
and
if you're
established
established
so they might not be real.
and go over there and really do that, or she's gonna come over. It's like, I don't think it's that realistic. What do you think?
No, I mean, I think that's fair. I think that's a fair assessment. I think what you said, at least from my perspective, is that people feel like they have more options than they really do. I think even when I think about my own friend group that aren't single, they're still, I want the this, that, and the other. I'm just like, I mean, you know how old we are? And part of me feels, I would never say it to them just to their face like that, but I'm just like, might need to modify a little bit.
Love it. Love it, man.
You modify a lot. Let me take you to this back room.
I think there's room for modification in everybody.
Yes,
so.
yes. Improvement for everyone.
Yes.
Waiting for you.
Yeah, I can tell you're listening.
You ready? I'm like, go ahead.
You got something to say.
I want to hear it. Yeah, I want to hear what you gotta say.
It's like this, man. Like you talking about, ain't nobody in your city. Like, so what? So what?
Everybody can't travel though. What I'm saying is everybody doesn't have the
For those
means
who
to
can,
travel.
nothing. So then what?
I mean, I get it,
So
but
let it be in a different country. Let it be in a different time zone. Let it be in a different place in life. Okay?
here's what I
I didn't
think.
get to it.
Here's what I think this is okay.
I can't wait to be there for you.
This is where I think it's okay. Online, this is a fact. Most women are not attracted to 80% of the men that they meet online.
Accurate.
Even if you take it offline, most women are just not attracted to 80% of the men. But the flip side to that is, in order to protect, provide, and perform, like traditionally, I don't have to be fine to do those things.
That part.
Right? So women will settle for a guy who's not necessarily attractive if he's protecting, performing, and protecting in a certain way, right? But I'm just like, yo, if you're not attracted to 80% of the men out here, the 20% that you are attracted to has 80% that he's attracted to too. Why do you expect that man to want or to perform for you? He does not have to. It takes that 20% of the man who's self-aware, who realizes, okay, I could do all of that. I really could do all that. Because I used to say a man is as faithful as his options until he emotionally matures.
Yeah.
Right? Because those options are still going to be there in abundance. But you have to be emotionally mature to be able to gauge, should I or shouldn't I? You can, but is it a good thing? So I don't know, Morgan, like, maybe you can help me answer that. Like, if 80% of the women are going for 20% of the guys, most of the women I talk to still think they have it going on. They still think that I deserve this, I deserve that, I'm not going to settle for less. You're going after 20% of the men. Why? You.
So, from my perspective, I've talked to those kind of females because I'm actually the total opposite, which is probably ended up where I ended up in a lot of the relationships that I used to end up in, because I always have the optimistic side of a man. And again, I told you I was always independent, so I really didn't need a man to take care of me. I could take care of myself. I could take care of my kids. I remember when I got my divorce, and the judge wanted him to pay child support, and I was like, for what? He hasn't taken care of her for 16 years, so why does it matter? I've been taking care of her. So, because that seed has been planted, you got to think about it. Seeds are planted, whether it's the beginning part of your life, the middle part of your life, or later part of your life. And if those seeds were already planted, whether it's social media or talking to their girlfriends or family members, those seeds were planted a long, long time ago. As we said, we got to go back to that old school, because in old school, those men were out there breaking their backs and providing for the wife and providing.
You ain't answered no piece of his question.
Give me back to where I'm trying to get. Let me get threads.
We don't want to go there in this hole.
Because he don't want to hear it. He don't want to hear it. Finish what you say. So the reason why is
You ain't learned nothing yet.
Oh,
Get that.
Lord, Jesus.
Yeah, I'm glad you're trying now.
They're not ready to see anything outside than the 20%. Because the world's been showing them 80% is required. 80% is required. A man's role is to provide, protect, and, in my opinion, take care of your individual. You know, to provide. But most men that are not like that, those are the men that the women are chasing. And because those men are being available for those women to be chased, that's why they're able to do it. And vice versa, like the women. I said, like you just said, men like the women looking like this. A woman won't keep putting herself in that position where she's always bodacious, she's always fine, she's always sexy, if a man does not place her on that pedestal. If he keeps placing her on that pedestal, and you got girls, women are doing things to their body, going across overseas, do things to their booty and all that other stuff, just because that's what men are wanting. Mm-hmm. So if a man is presenting themselves in that way, if you go to a club, you can see a guy, he broke. And you probably know he broke, because you watched him, went to this person, that person, and he holding that same drink all night long. So you already know, bruh ain't got no money. Bruh ain't got no money, right? But he played that role until he found that right young lady. That right one. And he told her, girl, I got this house, I got this, I got that, and her eyes lit up. Girl, I got that one, till she took him home. So you guys provide that standard as well. Because as I tell men, and I told even my fiance, I said, a man determines the relationship, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. Mm-hmm. A man determines if she gonna ride it out with him all the way, deal with his shenanigans, ride it out with him all the way, wait till he gets to the level he need to be, or if he's already on that level, she's gonna ride it out because he provided that platform for her to stick with him no matter what. Mm-hmm. Marks. He's saying too much. He's doing too much right now. We gotta put him in time out.
I understand where I'm coming from in a sense, but it's like this day and age now, because of social media, because that, the female is making more than the men these days. Some men, it's growing. We catching back up, but for a lot of years, women was the breadwinners, for the household. And that's been a decade now that happened, So, when I look at that situation, I just, to me, I feel like, what you're saying, when you go out now, especially in Charlotte, you go out, you go down club.